Okay, so it's 2024 and I haven't had any updates or anything for any of my cars or what I've been doing. So I thought I would make a quick video. As you can see, the Nova is, ignore this. I really need wheels and tires. That same wheel has actually been leaking for like 6 years. It's just the bead, like there's corrosion on it and it just doesn't hold air. But the tires are also 8 years old and those really need to go. But also, it's just time to change it up from the IROX. I really want to get some 17s on it, and I'm hoping that'll happen later this year. The Fiesta, of course, is still for sale, as of mid-February here. If anybody's interested, bang my line. The Integra is actually my daily right now, and I have had a couple little issues with smog. It's kind of some stupid stuff. Mostly, I think, stemming from the fact that it had a pretty good exhaust leak. And actually, as you can see, we've just crossed 258,000 miles. Let's hear it for the OG B18. Runs like a top. No more exhaust leak. And basically, once all the monitors run, I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish the smog. Cold start. Thing sounds awesome. Super quiet. And, ignore the peeling wrinkle black. I might redo that. We'll see. But as you can see, I've got some new hardware down here. It's hard to see. The studs are underneath the heat shield, but I also got new heat shield hardware. I also had some issues with the taillights leaking on this thing, and I had to get some new taillight gaskets, but it's been good since. And like I said, I've been daily driving this thing, and it's fine, especially, now that I've put the stock suspension back on the front. When I got it, it had those coilovers that were blown out, and, well, the shocks. But I still want to get some Coney yellows for them. These are some ground control sleeves. They're basically collars with Eibach springs on them. I'm not sure if the springs will be what I really want. They might be a little bit soft. They're just the out-of-the-box, off-the-shelf regular rates. But they do offer other rates if I want to swap them out later on. It's super easy to, take them apart and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, I'm just focusing on maintenance and some small, slow kind of resto stuff as I go along. Just 90s things. But the car runs and drives great otherwise. Steers straight, rides fine. It's a little squeaky. If you have one of these old Hondas, you know what that squeak is. You know what I'm talking about. But otherwise, it's just the daily. The Nova, like I said, really want to get some stuff done on that later this year. But again, this is a cold start. Toyota power, man. Look. And just so we're on the same page, this is 0 temp, coolant temp, and oil temp here. Oil temp over here. No temp in it, right? Beautiful. Now, I don't hate my neighbors, and I don't want them to hate me, so I don't want to do that for too long right now. I don't drive this car very often, but every time I do like to drive it, fires right up. No issues. Whew. A little stinky because, yes, we are still open downpipe, ladies and gentlemen. And that is another thing that I want to tackle this year. Definitely need to tackle that this year. It was fine for a little bit, but this thing is too loud and the fumes are just too bad. I really want to at least get like a half system where it, just dumps out the side or something. If not, maybe put a muffler in it. I kind of would like to see what it sounds like with just a straight pipe. I'm sure it'll sound a lot better than just an open down pipe. It sounds cool. Don't get me wrong. It sounds really cool, open down pipe, but it's just not practical. And I literally have to wear, earmuffs every time I drive it, or earplugs, and passengers are at their own risk, all that jazz. So that's going to be happening at some point this year. But there have been some life things recently going on, and I've had to just put car mods and that sort of fun things on the back burner for a little bit. But hoping that I can get back into some things really soon here. Last year was amazing that the latter half of the year I was basically just able to drive the Nova and everything. And, I've been to a bunch of Cars and Coffees and a couple car shows, that sort of thing. And this car actually helped me get my new job. It sounds weird saying that, but, I'm really proud of, where this car has gotten me so far. It's not just the fact that it has a 1J, but like the fact that I spent so much time to make sure that you pop the hood, and people ask like, "Oh, is it wire tucked?" I'm like, "No, actually, that's like the factory harness, but I deleted some other things, and I made sure that things are very clean. I did hide some things here and there, so it's not like my dream setup. Like I wish the intercooler piping and stuff was a little cleaner. It's what I could do in my garage without access to a welder and such. I do have access to an old welder now that I'm going to be practicing and doing some stuff with, but we'll see where that goes later in the year here. And the guys at my work were impressed enough to take a chance with me, and I am forever grateful for the opportunity. And I'm having a ball actually being back in automotive and actually working on much cooler stuff than this. Well, I mean, this is very cool to me, but some pretty crazy stuff. And hopefully soon I can kind of, that was really loud. Hopefully soon kind of show more of that stuff off. Most of this channel has been just me and my cars, a little bit of other people's cars. For instance, that's not my engine. I'll just say that. Hopefully that we can show that off soon here, though. It's coming, though. But, while it is fun doing stuff with my cars and kind of showing off my cars and, what I like to do with them, I would like to, show off more other stuff. And hopefully that can happen soon. I'd like to do more like driving stuff once this thing is ready for the canyons. I'm definitely going to be hitting the canyons with this. Basically, I just probably going to need to get some new tires, and then make sure the brakes are good to go, brake fluid, that sort of thing, and get those better springs on and such, and just make sure that, I don't have any other outsetting things. And then I got a couple people that have been asking about hitting the canyons with some old Hondas and some other stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But I always intended for this channel to be more than just my stuff. And we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But I really just wanted to take just a few minutes and, just give an update. There's not much to update. Like I said, the Nova's just in the same state, pretty much. It's a Toyota engine, just keeps on trucking. There's astoundingly, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I finished this thing in May of last year, and it's now February 2024, and I've put, what was that count on here? I think let's see. Oops, I can't figure out what I'm doing here. Mileage currently 429 miles on this thing since the swap, right? Since the swap was finished. So basically the clutch is now basically broken in. So maybe we could do a little mischief here and there. Nothing crazy, but now I feel a little less, guilty about maybe abusing it a little bit. But 400 plus miles and no issues, like I was expecting a fuel leak or an oil line or something, and other than a couple little bits here and there when I was first just test firing the engine for the first time, that sort of thing. If you go back to my old videos, you'll see that I had one oopsie with the high pressure feed for the turbo. I just forgot that I just finger tightened it, and nothing else is leaked. Nothing else is, I have no electrical issues, none that weren't there before anyways, with like a 54-year-old or whatever, 53-year-old original harness, that sort of thing, because all the chassis harness stuff, all the lights, basically, is just all that's left of it. That's all original. Nice and crusty, 70s. And I do want to replace that eventually. I'm sure I've said that before, but I really want to step it up with this car. And there's a couple things, you know, in a few ways. I want to step up the performance, but I also want to step up the aesthetics, because in general, these cars look really, really good when they're lowered a little bit. Same thing with the Integra. I'd love to find a new front bumper and at least one fender for that thing, and maybe respray the rear bumper or something like that. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. But Novas, when they're, you know, evened out and lowered a little bit, they look really, really good. And I would like to get that with the right wheel and tire package going, and also some brake changes and some other changes that, you know, will kind of make this more race car than, you know, I've always wanted this to be a streetable race car, but it's always going to be a race car. It's always going to have a cage in it. It's never going to have soundproofing or any insulation other than like heat shielding and like necessary stuff like that. It's never going to be a nice car. It's always going to be ratty, so I can just do, you know, this to it and not care about it, and that's totally fine, you know. It's so unoriginal, and it's not special. It's a 6-cylinder car. It's a 6-cylinder auto car originally. Now it's still a 6-cylinder, but, you know, I don't feel bad about that. The Integra, it's just an LS, right? You know, it's a pretty solid LS that I found. It's in pretty good shape. Yeah, like the bumper, it's got, you know, we don't have to talk about that, but, you know, it's fine. What just happened to my, okay, there we go. Anyways, I am rambling on, and I know that I can do that a lot. I'm Irish, we talk. It is what it is. But if you're still watching, thank you for watching. If you're just tuning in, I guess scroll back 10 minutes because you missed a lot. I don't know. But if you're a subscriber, you know, and have been subscribed for a while, I appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, think about subscribing. Follow me on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I'm a car nut. I like to talk about cars and stuff like that. And I like to do some wacky stuff like put Toyota engines and Chevys, and you know, I want to have some more fun with it. So thanks for watching. Just like I said, a bit of an update. Sorry if I rambled, but see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. This is my cat.